At this moment, the number of obese people in the world exceeds the number of people who are starving. Obesity is really a huge problem. It's leading to diseases like diabetes, heart disease, some forms of cancer, depression. And why is there an obesity epidemic? Well, the reasons are simple. Well, we just eat too much, and we exercise too little. Well, simple as that, right? I mean, everybody knows, duh. Well, wrong. There are so many other factors affecting our weight. And today I will discuss these factors with you. And the good news here is there are so many other solutions to have a good weight in addition to healthy diet and exercising. So let's do a small experiment here. Imagine a box in front of you. And in this box, there are chocolates. There are white chocolates, brown chocolates, they're shiny. And you smell the chocolate right now. And imagine you're taking one. You're taking one of the chocolates right now. And you take a crunchy bite. And now you start feeling, you taste the soft, sweet praline and chocolate in your mouth right now. You are making hunger hormones right at this moment. But there are other factors in our environment which affect the amount of food we eat. Well, for example, our social, cultural background. We know that in some cultures, eating and food is hospitality. So imagine that your neighbor has stood in the kitchen for 3 days, cooking a delicious meal for you, and invite you over. Well, it's socially not really acceptable not to eat a lot then, and to just take a tiny bit. So also your cultural background may determine the amount of food you eat. And things have changed in the last decade. In the past decade, we became much more stressed. And if you're stressed, we know your body is producing more stress hormones than usual. In particular, the stress hormone cortisol if you're stressed for a prolonged period of time. And we know if you have extremely high levels of stress hormone, that makes you fat. Abdominal fat mass will increase. But it will also increase your appetite. In particular, your appetite for calorie-rich food. So that's maybe why we grab a candy bar when we are stressed. In the past decade, with the increase of obesity, we also reduced the numbers of hours we sleep. And the lack of sleep is also activating our stress system, increasing our cortisol, but also dysregulating other appetite hormones. So the net effect of reduced numbers of hours of sleep is weight gain and leading to obesity. So the solution here for obesity, additional solutions, may be to reduce your stress level and also to improve your sleep hours. And there's more. But on the other hand, we use a lot of medication with some of the medications have as a side effect also weight gain, maybe a more subtle way than in this case, but still, in particular, obese people use more medication. So, and the last topic in our environment I will discuss is brown fat. Who of you ever heard of brown fat? Please raise your hand. Well, some of you, but most of you not. So, well, actually, brown fat is the good fat. We all know the white fat. That's what's in your hips and your belly, and that's the unhealthy fat, which making you sick. But the good fat literally converts calories into heat. It burns your calories. Well, that's fantastic. But obese people have less of this brown fat. So they basically cannot burn that much calories as slim people do. But there is good news here, though, because it has been shown that also people with obesity can actually stimulate their brown fat tissue. And you can do it either by exercise, which is hard if you're really massively obese, but you can also do it by cold temperature. So you don't need to worry. You don't have to sit in a freezer for a day. Maybe we should just go out more often and take our coats off and tell our kids to play outside without their jackets. So now looking at all these factors, stress and sleep and medication and thoughts and dieting, crash dieting, I think the problem of obesity and of the obesity epidemic is that we think too simply. The solution here is look at all these factors and change them where possible. It is now time not longer to judge people with obesity, but start to support them. And that's the way we will combat obesity much more effectively. Thank you.